Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another video in the Dirt Cheap Toy Fair Loco series, where when I attend a toy fair, if there's no sort of big ticket items or stuff I really would like to get there, I will buy something or more than one thing that I've got a vague interest in that's nice and cheap, and we'll bring it home, open it live if you like on camera, test it out and see if it's worth what I paid. So my constant quest for a half decent pannier tank loco to take over from my really old Hornby one hasn't gone too well in the previous video, where I had a Bachmann one which I still haven't got running properly. To be fair, I haven't really looked at it for a while because I just got cross with it. Anyway, my eyes were drawn to this one. This is a Hornby one but with an open cab. As you can see, this was £25. I purchased this with the little blue Caledonian thing that I think you probably saw in the last video, and that, so between them they came to 30 quid, so yeah, whatever, proportionate how you see fit. So this is R760B, not sure what the B stands for, GWR 060 class 2721 pannier tank, number 2730. I don't have a open cab one, so I thought that might be a bit interesting. So I've not tried this, it wasn't tested at the show or anything. It was from a new seller as well, so I don't know anything about him, so it's not as if he's got any trust of mine. But the blue pug thing ran okay. See if I can get this out. It's a bit tight. I have had a look at it in the at the show, but nothing more than have a look. It's got the usual flap. Oh, it does come with instructions. That's rather good. It's got a date on it. No, it's just got the old. Can't remember what that motor's called. The little square one. Has had improvements over the past few months, with double pickups. Well, that's nice to see. Oh, what was that? If you see 5 screws on the bottom of the locomotive, then turn over. If you see 4 screws, please read on. Okay, that's the first thing to do then. Which one have we got? We have 1, 2, 4 screws on the bottom. 4 screws on the bottom, please read on. Right, okay. Yeah, just some general info there. List of spares. Looks like it should have a traction tyre. And so if you've got the one so it says, there we go, if you can see 5 screws on the bottom of the locomotive, turn over. So basically, as the back, if you've got 5 screws on your locomotive, tough shit, because there's no instructions for it. I think that's what they're saying there. Have I got the gist of that right? I'm not sure. Right, let's have a look. A bit concerned about the admission of low weight, but you don't feel too bad, to be honest. It's not too dirty either. Looks like your typical Hornby. It's got 2 traction tyres actually. So yeah, they're not loose on that wheel. This is good. Don't know if the green looks a bit, what do you think, look a bit pale maybe? Maybe it's just me. Toolbox on the side there. Bit of detail in the cab, no paint. Coal load with a bit of a slope on it down to where it's shoveled out, that's quite good. Bit of polystyrene stuck to the back. All moulded details on the rear. No sprung buffers. Vacuum pipe missing. There's nothing in the box. Let me just check. No, nothing left in the box. Quite a nice moulding around here with a toolbox and what have you. Wire handrails. I think that's a metal whistle. That's not. And these copper chimney tops. These older ones, they're sometimes better than newer models, aren't they? So I've seen some newer models where that's just painting. It looks crap, really. That looks so much better. I think that top is actually metal as well. That does look so much better than that horrible coppery, sparkly paint some of them use. So far I think this looks alright. It's actually relatively clean. It's not full of fluff like some of them we see. Seems alright. Yeah. We'll take this as it cost, say, 20 quid and the pug was a £5 or whatever. So let's go with 20 quid. What do you reckon? No, 25 quid, whatever. 25 quid for this. Of course it depends whether it runs, so I'll get it on the track, flick the points to get it going, and we'll see how it goes. So a quick look through Ramsey's guide tells me this model came from the year 2000 and had a slight detail upgrade from the previous release in 1999. So yeah, this is from the year 2000 and that's the only year given for it, so that must have been the only year it was actually out. So most importantly, you get an H&M duet. And turn it up and see what happens. So I am turning it up. Oh. Yeah, that looks alright actually. That starts moving at 10% on the duet. Bit of a stiff bit there at the top of the motion. And it's stopped. Let's give it another go. Seems a bit better forwards. That's 50%. Bit jerky in reverse. Right, we need to get this on the main line and give it a run. So I'll just clear off what I've got running at the moment, which is the old Marklin with the crane and the King Henry VIII I've still got running. That one was a bit of a bargain. Anyway, right, be back in a minute. So as usual, I'm going to back it out onto the main line. Just watch it round a couple of times and then I'll run it both ways just for about 5-10 minutes each way, and then we'll come back and see how it's running and get the top off, give it a spot of oil should it need it, and we'll go from there. Right, let's run it out backwards. So it's definitely a bit stoppy backwards. Stop that there. It's got a bit of noise, doesn't it, at the slightly higher speed. Around the back of the station. Oh, it's got caught on the Lima crossing there. Doesn't like that. Won't be the only one that doesn't like that. I think it runs better than that old Bachmann one does, straight out of the box. So we'll leave that to go round. I'll just give it 10 minutes each way and then we'll come back and see if it's improved any. So after just 1.5 laps, this is now what it sounds like. Still stoppy-starty backwards. So it's turned into a bit of a screamer. So at this point, I've cancelled the running and we're going to get the top off. Right, let me get me screwdrivers. So after a good look round this engine, trying to work out how you get the top off, because those poor old instructions don't tell you. I undid 2 screws, just one there and one there, which did nothing except let you take the couplings off. It turns out you don't have to undo anything, you just pull it and it comes out like that. That clips in like that, and the one that goes slides in the body in that hole there, and the other end they clip into these bits here, the little hooks on the front of the chassis. So we've got that apart. Let's see what I found. So the first thing I noticed is that clip there is the bit that pushes under the front in there. You can see that little recess maybe just there, and there's a weight that's glued in there, but one of them's missing. There should be one both sides, so one has broken off. I don't know if it'll focus enough. You can probably see the brake just there, so there should be 2 of them. Mind you, I haven't had any problems. It hasn't caused any problems. That's missing. The motor's there, it's just that small motor, which actually looks in pretty good order. So the question is, what was making it scream? Well, it looks pretty dry, I've got to say. It does look quite dry in there. So I think I'm going to all the motor bearings again, as usual. Get a little tiny brush thing with some IPA on it behind these pickups, just to give them a clean on both sides. Brush out some of the fur and the hair. Mind you, it's not too bad, is it? Oil the motion and the wheels, and then we'll see if it stops screaming. I'm a bit concerned to take this off because the instructions have mentioned this spring system under this wheel here, and I'm a bit concerned if I undo those 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, there, something's going to go boing across the room and ruin the bloody thing. So I might not do that. Just put some oil up the side of that main drive there, and a slight amount of grease on it, because that seems very dry as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be back in a minute with my next report. So it's back on the track, all cleaned up. While I was cleaning the wheels, decided to shed a traction tyre. So I've had to replace that. Didn't have one the right size, but I've got some slightly smaller Marklin ones, which I prefer to use anyway, because they're much more stretchy and they seem to last forever. So I managed to get one of them on, but it's not quite the same width. You see what I mean? Which of course meant I had to dig all through my toolbox looking for my trusty Hornby nut spinner to undo the running gear, which is always a worry. Yeah, these are pretty good, well, for what they are. So it's got a new traction tyre on the bottom, as you can see there, this one, but it's not quite the same width as the wheel, unfortunately. So I'm going to try and get some more. But it's had a clean up. I haven't tried to run it yet, so I don't know what it's going to be like. I'll put a bit of grease on the gears as well. I haven't taken the bottom plate off. But as you heard, it only managed a couple of laps and it was getting a bit of a squeal on. So first thing we've got to do is give it a run and see if that's cured that. So yeah, let's do that, shall we? So let's try this little pannier to see if it's got any better since so I've given it a clean up and its new traction tyre. See if it's any better. Still got that noise. It could turn into a scream. Yeah. It's definitely better backwards though. The only thing I can do with this is I'm going to give it 5 minutes just going round and round forwards and see if it works itself out. It may need the oil to get in there that I've given it, or it could be something completely different. I'm not sure what's causing it though. Sounds like the gears, so I may have to have the plate off the bottom and risk the springs boinging everywhere. But I'm going to give it 5 minutes just forwards. I'll put up with the screeching and we'll see if it works itself out. Right, I'll report back in a second. Okay, so I've had to resort to taking the base keeper plate off, which, because of the weird design, you actually have to take the whole body off at the same time, because part of the base keeper plate is the clips that hold it to the body, or hold the body on. Now I think this has probably had this screeching problem maybe before, because there is so much oil and grease on there. I don't know whether you can tell. Far more than I put on, the little bit I put in. These are the sprung wheels. You can see there's a lot of shit in there, so I'm going to clean them out. There is bearings though, but not on that one, strangely enough. So I'm going to clean this out, get a bit of fresh lubrication, and see if I can remember to put this base keeper plate back on. I'll give that a clean as well, because you can see that's a bit skanky, to say the least. And we'll see if we can get this one done, and then if that doesn't do it, then it's a case of put it to one side and have a think about it, whether I want to waste any more time on trying to get a half decent pannier tank. It's not like I'm wasting my money, because I can resell this for spares, repairs, or poor runner, and I'll get more than I paid for it. But it's not the point, you know. Just bite the bullet and spend 100 quid on a decent backman, maybe. But I do quite enjoy doing this. So yeah, I'll clean that out, and I'll get back to you with the result of that. Right, wish me luck. Right, so it's cleaned up, back on the track. No springs boinged anywhere, so I might have got away with that. So I think backwards, that's a bit better. It's still got that noise. If it runs smoother, I'll give it that. That's still going to be a screamer, isn't it? Let's give it a bit more juice and see how much noise it makes. Right, now I'm at a bit of a loss. I did try to put the body back on, and it didn't make that noise. So that makes it sound like something in the body might be rubbing. Yeah, I'll loosen the body and try that. Failing that, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I've been at this for about 3 or 4 hours now, on and off. Winds me up after a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'll loosen the body. We'll try that, because the body is only a push on. Let's see if I can just do that while we're here. Oh, there you are, it just came off. So let's try it now. No hint of that noise. So something in there is rubbing, is it? There doesn't appear to be any sort of moving parts that could be rubbing, unless it's the wheels on something. There's no marks on the body. Okay, let's have a play about with that. So I've run this without the body on, as I think you've already seen, and it doesn't make that noise. I've run it at various stages of the body pushed on, because it is just a push on. It doesn't make that noise until it's fully on, which sounds like there's something rubbing, which the only moving parts that could be rubbing on anything are the wheels. I've checked all the brake blocks and stuff, and they're not touching the wheels, so I'm not too sure what it is. Also, I've had it upside down in the cradle with a pair of fly leads, and it doesn't make that noise upside down either. Most weird, very odd. I just can't see what's doing it, what's rubbing on what. Maybe it's just noisy. However, I got a bit cross with it and gave it some full blast around the track, and it doesn't scream anymore. I mean, it's been a success in so much as I've got it to run better than it was. Certainly smoother now, and maybe we just have to accept it's going to be noisy. There's the 15 quid or whatever it was, Lee McKing, that's been running for this entire 3.5 hours. No problems with that. That one definitely was a bargain. Anyway, let's bring it back. It doesn't make the noise in reverse. Now we go forwards. it's less of a screech now, so maybe it needs a long run and that might help it. But I don't know, I don't think there's much else I can do to it really, except resell it, which may be what happens. But I will give it a long run for as long as I can stand the noise. Maybe it is just a noisy one. If you've got any ideas, let me know. Anything I could try. It's easy enough to take apart this thing. Yeah, no problems at all. And let me know. So was it worth 25 quid or 20 quid, whatever we ended up paying for it? Not too sure really. If I can get it running a bit better, then yes. Otherwise, no, not really. What I have learned though is I won't buy anything from that seller again, because he knew it was like that, noisy, and has just swamped it with oil to cover it up. One of the clips that holds the body on was broken. He must have known that as well. Yeah, he wasn't a big trader. I've never seen him at this train fair before. He might have just been an individual with some stuff to shift and just bullshitted them to try and get them sold. I'm not a fan of that. I don't mind doing a bit of work on them, but when it's deliberately covered up, which I think it must have been going by the amount of oil on it. Anyway, not to worry. Was it worth 20 quid, 25 quid? What do you reckon? Let me know. I do quite like it, but I'm beginning to think I should give up on pannier tanks. So giving this a long run has improved it very slightly, but not good enough. So I've taken the motor out. I didn't have the paperwork that showed how to do this, so I had to find a video how to do it. Turns out it's dead simple. It's one screw and the motor lifts out. And you can see all the gump in there, all the old grease and muck. So I'm going to clean all that out. And I'm also going to give the motor itself a dab of oil where necessary. I want to get some on the spindle this end, and then give all these pickups a better clean, and we'll see how that goes. So it's just that one screw that was in there that holds it in, and then the motor just comes out. Shame there ain't any more though, that other locos that ain't that simple to do. So I'll get on with that and then report back. So there she is, all back together again. I've had the motor out, I've cleaned all the gunk out of it, given it a good oil where necessary, a bit of grease, cleaned out the gearbox, put it back together, and it shed a traction tyre. Now unfortunately I don't have any of the exact correct size for this, so I've put a Marklin one I've got on, and it's a bit narrow for these wheels, so this now runs with a bit of a wobble, but we've got rid of the screaming noise. Still runs a bit better backwards and forwards, but it's nice and quiet now. Well, quiet-ish. Way better than it was. As I say, it's got a bit of a wobble going on. That's the traction tyre. I've tried to get it as much in the middle of the groove as I can, because it was wobbling much worse than this. But that's better. That's definitely better. Let's see if it doesn't want to connect up with anything. We'll have to do it by hand. Right, we're on. So we're going to send it round, and you can see it's, or here, it's much quieter, but it has got a bit of a wobble going on. Yeah, so this video now I'll have to go and hold until I've got some traction tyres, which I've ordered, and then we'll give it another go. Spent a hell of a lot of time getting this going. hopefully it'll be worth it, and I don't like being beaten. Right, so we've cracked the noise, we've got it running reasonably smoothly. Now we've just got to wait for the traction tyre. That'll be next. So here we are a couple of weeks later. New traction tyres have arrived. Had to go with Hornby ones, unfortunately, because I couldn't get Marklin ones for the right size or the right width for the time being. So they sit on the two middle wheels. Doesn't exactly help the pickup. So let's see how it runs. So what I think's a bit odd is there's springs under those rear wheels, and it gives it a bit of that, and I'm not sure that's something that I'll be stuck with for whatever reason. Right, let's see how it runs now. Yeah, it's nice and slow if you want it to be, but it's a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It's stoppy starty. Like it's got a tight spot. Yeah. I don't know what else I could do with this, as I've had even had the motor out, as you know. The motor runs absolutely fine on its own. What we have done is cured that terrible screaming noise. It may just need another damn good run. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? It's certainly a lot better than it was. So what do we think on this then, for the 20 quid I paid for it? See there, it's not running perfectly still. But I don't think there's much more I could do with that, so that was what's going to be filed to have a look at later if I come up with any better ideas of what else I could try and fix with it. Well, if you've got any ideas, stick them in the comments. But I think for 20 or 25 quid, whatever I paid for this, it's alright. But I think the quest for a really good pannier tank continues. So that's two cheapo ones I bought now. Neither of them turned to be particularly great. If only it would run as well as the King Henry VIII would be nice. So that's that one done. We'll leave that there. Any comments about it, stick them down below as normal. Another train fair coming up this weekend. Unless there's some nice, more expensive item I've been after for a while, I'll probably get a few more cheapo train fair things and see what they're like. Because the hit rate's not been too bad, and I could always sell them on. Right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and bye for now.